Well, clearly, Grant, you wouldn't have wanted to get beat last weekend, but I suppose if you are going to take the positive out of it, it's a good opportunity to really focus minds ahead of the remaining games.
Of course, we don't want to go and get beat two in a row in the league. That's the message from me really this week. We have to respond. We have to go and produce our best to get a good result at Gillingham. They're a team who are in great form, albeit they got beaten their last game, but they've been in great form ever since Steve came in, and it's a tough game for us. It always is at Gillingham, but one we're confident in going there and hopefully get a good result and kickstart us again.
Yeah, they're like one or two sides who have had slow starts and then really picked up.
Yeah, it's amazing when you put a little run together, isn't it, and what happens. And Plymouth are another team who've picked up, and I knew probably from the first game of the season when we played them that they're a strong team, and they're on a good run, and so are Gillingham. They've got some really good individual players, but they've brought it together as a team now, and they're picking up results. And we have to be on our guard. We have to make sure we're good defensively, good without the ball, and hopefully our attacking threats can go and take the game to them at the other end. But first and foremost, we've got to make sure we defend properly, because it's like I say, it's a tough place to go. Yeah,
even as a stadium, the Priestfield being by the coast, and it always seems quite exposed and windy and a tricky place to play.
It is. It has been over the years. Even when I went to play there as a player, it's always been a tough place. Our fans will be left out on the open, and I hope it's not raining, and I hope it don't get wet. But it's a tricky place to go. But the boys are in confident mood. Yes, we've lost our last league game, but we have to regroup and refocus. There's a long way to go still. We've got to concentrate on the next game. I'm really confident with the group of players that I've got, that we can put a run together to see us go on an unbeaten run to get ourselves a wee bit closer to those playoffs.
Yeah, and when you came in on Monday morning and look back at the game, one of the things you must have thought is, well, really, that doesn't look like us in any element of the performance, and it's not positive when you're watching it, but it must be quite nice when you can start anew and just think that's not what we're about.
Well, I blame myself straight away after the game. I always take responsibility when we lose. I was disappointed the way we just didn't get things right that we probably worked on. Maybe the shape being one. So disappointed, and it's a difficult formation to play because everyone has to buy into the out of possession in terms of the 4-4-2. So if I'm going to be honest, I felt it, in my stomach coming into the game, that we have to make sure everyone's working for this to work, and it didn't. But ultimately, when the boys cross the white line, they're the ones who've got to put the shift in. And if you look back at the goal, I mean, we've analysed it this week. We've analysed the game. The boys have watched the game. We've been open and honest, and because it's the only way we're going to move forward is if we all learn off our mistakes, and that's what we're doing. We are learning. I always say you're either winning or learning, and we're certainly learning after that game last week. The goal I was talking about is really basic error from us, really, something that we work on constantly, defending throw-ins, and we just let a ball go straight into, I think it was Cox at the time, and a ball and a runner just gone past us. So that was really disappointing, because apart from that, they didn't really have any more clear-cut chances at our goal, and to concede a goal in that manner was really disappointing for us.
Yeah, and at the other end of the pitch, goes without saying, really, you've had time with Omar Bogle, and that's always so valuable.
Yeah, I mean, Omar trained one day last week. He only trained on Friday, so he's had the whole week with us this week. He understands us a wee bit more. I think you'll see the best of him in the games coming up. He's quick. He can run behind people. It was important for me to do a lot of work this week with the group in terms of Omar. Although Omar's a big lad and 6'2", 6'3", he's not a target man. So we have to continue to move the ball. We have to move the ball and create opportunities and play between people, and that's our game. That's our game. It always has been. It's always the way I like to play. If we're going to play forward, then it's got to be a good pass or a good long ball in behind teams. Not so much a hit and hope. Hopefully Omar gets hold off, and I think we probably got sucked in there a little bit last week in the second half. That can some ways you can feel as a player, you can think, well, I'm in trouble there. I can just hit it as high and hopeful as possible because we've got a big target man up there now. We don't. Omar's not that type of striker, and he wants to run in behind. He wants to do what Jack Marriott and Idris Kanu and Junior Marias want to do. So we've worked hard on that this week, and hopefully he understands us a wee bit more.
Yeah, and of course you have the option, if you like, to use Jack and Omar in rotation and have one up front. You had them as the two last Saturday. I would imagine, having brought Omar in, you feel there is real potential there for them as a pairing?
Oh, of course there is, yeah. I mean, I've always said to you, we're flexible in the way we play, and we have to be, because you can't be set in stone in one way in terms of what you way on set your team up, because you'll come unstuck. And it's important that the boys are understanding in three or four different ways of playing, and that's only good for us. You know, I've spoke about this before. Really, they're fluent in whatever way they play. The style of play won't change. We'll keep trying to play the ball on the floor and playing behind people and getting our forward players in the game, but also defending as a team and regrouping and pressing and winning the ball back as quick as we can. So whatever way we go, you know, we've got big assets up there.
You mentioned last week that Michael Dougherty had been ill and was actually quite close to perhaps being in contention for a starting place. Is he feeling better, and have you avoided anyone else getting the same thing?
Yeah, no one's ill. Michael's feeling better. He's trained all week. He played in a reserve game on Tuesday. But apart from Michael, really, I think Alex Penny is going to be out for a bit. I think he's dislocated his shoulder, or it's come out of place, and we're waiting to hear the results of his scan from the specialist, but it doesn't look good for him. Probably best case scenario, he could be out for a month in case it goes back out of place again. Worst, it could be probably 2 or 3 months and may need a pin in it. So that's probably disappointing. But one or two others that haven't trained that we'll probably have to make a late call on. But apart from that, everyone's good.
It's always an awkward one, isn't it, the shoulder, because you don't want to be in a situation where you accidentally end up weakening it. And I think Gabby Zakwani had this, didn't he, where it would pop out all the time.
Yeah, we've had a few players over the years with it, and it's a difficult one, because the sort of player he is, Alex, he's a physical player, and he wants to be aggressive against people, and he wants to use his arms, and so we have to be really careful with him, because we don't want any long-term damage for the boys. So we'll see what the scan comes back from the specialist and see what they say, whether he needs to get it pinned and get an operation on it. We'll know more over the next couple of days.